you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm going to keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
It's Meals on Wheels. 1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here. That's what you've earned here tonight.
Forget about the crowds, the size of the school, their fancy uniforms, and remember what got you here. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the difference between winning and losing.
It's down to the wire with Errol Marks and Speedy Petey.
Oh, Petey! Oh, Petey!
On the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello, Long Island, New York, and around the country. Yes, I'm losing my voice. I'm going crazy today. It is a crazy sports day, Black Monday, all over the NFL. So we will get into that in just a few moments. Remember, you can listen to our show every single Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. You can call us at 631-965-4990. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Download our app, iOS, Apple, WWSRN, or Android, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. My hat is falling. We have a red hat because it is, I call it Black Monday. I think everybody calls it Black Monday for the NFL and the NFL fans. But Speedy, what's going on? You're in the studios. I'm happy that you're back.
Yeah, I'm
sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. I'm back, everybody. Great holiday. Hope everyone else had a great holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, whatever you celebrate.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, yep. So whatever you celebrate, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. And definitely was much needed for me. Very much enjoyed being in Connecticut with my family, and it was a lot of fun.
All right, you're a very boring person. You talk and you just don't draw the people. So we're going to go off your family. We have a lot to talk about today. At 6:30, we'll be talking to Oregon safety Marko Vidackovic. We had him on the show a couple of months ago. Safety over there in Oregon, and we'll talk about Oregon getting knocked out by the great and powerful Matt Campbell. So we will talk about the Iowa State team because he could be the next coach of the New York Jets. And at 7:15, we'll be talking to the hosts of Slapshot Sweethearts Podcast, Megan Rachel and Shannon Walsh. So that's going to be fun. So definitely stay tuned for that. But Black Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of Jet fans are absolutely excited. And I told everybody, and I said this, and Josh even said this, before the weekend crunch. He was telling me I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets fire Adam Gase right after the game, and you hear it throughout the media world at the 8 o'clock game on Channel 4. Sunday Night Football. And he was absolutely right. I have to give Josh a lot of credit. When you think of the New York Jets right now, you think of a laughingstock, a mockery. You're thinking of the Jets being the worst team in the NFL. You talk about Jacksonville, everybody calls this year the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Well, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the superstar in the Sugar Bowl. It was Justin Fields. So if Justin Fields wins the national title, when you think about who he's going to be facing in the national title, the Alabama Slammer Crimson Tide, if he knocks off Nick Saban in that defense, is he the number one pick? Is he going to the Jacksonville Jaguars? And maybe Trevor Lawrence heads to New York. But what we saw this weekend was an absolute terrible franchise. And I'm a Jet fan, so you're going to hear it from me. Finally decide to get rid of the worst coach in NFL football history. Adam Gase has been nothing but a sure thing mockery here in New York. He's an embarrassment. You look at the New York Jets and you think of Adam Gase, you think stupid, dumb franchise. That's the way you perceive the New York Jets and their organization to be stupid. And yesterday, they finally got it right. After 2 years of misery,
the quarterback guru, the offensive mind that everybody wants, including Peyton Manning. Adam Gase gets fired at 6:31 at night. You know why I took the time down and I found out when the news came out, it was 6:31. I celebrated. Absolutely celebrated. As a Jet fan, you know what? You knew this was going to happen. You knew Adam Gase wasn't going to stay here another year. But what you hoped that you didn't wait until Monday and you sweat it out, and then you hear from Christopher Johnson saying Adam Gase didn't have the players, he didn't have all his players, he didn't have his whole team, and Sam Darnold wasn't 100% healthy all season long, so we're going to give him another year. We didn't hear that. Now you look at the New York Jets, and this organization is, everything that moves forward with this organization has to be Joe Douglas's decision. Every single decision moving forward for this organization cannot be touched by Woody Johnson or Christopher Johnson. Just an okay, I gotcha, we'll bring him in. We'll pay his salary. Will you talk about all the different coaches now that are going to be available for the New York Jets? The Jets are going to have to spend time on who they think could change this terrible franchise around. If you want Matt Campbell, I've been hearing all these stories. Matt Campbell this, Iowa State, this guy was going to be the next big superstar coach in the NFL, but he turned down the Jets to even interview with them before they signed and brought in Adam Gase. You talk about Eric Bieniemy because he's been under Andy Reid's offense for the last 5 to 6 years, and he is a quarterback guru. We all know about quarterback gurus and where they go with the New York Jets. Eric Bieniemy is a big name that everybody wants to interview. When you talk about Eberflus, the defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, he's one of the big, hot coaches that are going to be available this offseason. Are the Jets going to interview him? Yes, they are. They're going to interview every single one of these guys. The Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator who fixed Ryan Tannehill, and I call him Swill because I wonder what's going to hit us. Is it a twister or is it just Ryan Tannehill? But he has fixed Ryan Tannehill. So Smith will be a hot name. Greg Roman, where everybody talks about who he is and what he has done with the organization and what he has done, where everybody keeps putting Greg Roman's name as the frontline guy for a lot of these jobs. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan Wolverine, a guy that fixed Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith, took the San Francisco 49ers all the way to the Super Bowl and then decided to go to, I guess, Michigan and absolutely lose. You could talk about Dabble, who's right now coaching Josh Allen and that nasty, unbelievable offense of Buffalo Bills. Is he the next coach for possibly one of these three teams in the Chargers, the Jets, and the Jacksonville Jaguars? I am very surprised that only 3 coaches right now were fired. I was very surprised. Why Chicago hasn't fired Nagy is beyond me.
You think they were doing now that they made the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Old Mike Mularkey treatment, I guess.
I look at every single thing that we have seen and we have argued about with the New York Jets in this organization. Sam Darnold is the name that keeps being brought up. Is Sam Darnold done with the New York Jets? Is Sam Darnold going to get traded in the offseason? You listened to Sam Darnold after the Patriot game and looked like he was playing in a cartoon, or wondering and blaming himself would sell the fact that Adam Gase wouldn't get fired. Sam Darnold is done in New York. After yesterday, showing up or not showing up to that Patriot game against Cam Newton and that second-tier Patriot team that doesn't really have one or two, probably has one or two starters at best on that team, and you lose by almost 20 points against the Patriots and Cam Newton, you're absolutely looking at the New York Jets and firing and deciding to move on from Sam Darnold. Now, when you're looking at this offseason, what stands out as a Jet fan? What, as a Jet fan, are you looking forward to on what Joe Douglas is going to have to do to change this franchise from one of the worst franchises in the NFL to hopefully a middle of the NFL type of team where you could be a borderline playoff team right off the bat? And I'm going to give you my tips on what Joe Douglas is going to have to do this offseason that's going to give the Jets a chance to compete. Number one, find the right head coach. That is the most important thing the New York Jets are going to have to do this offseason. Find the right coach. Number two, find the quarterback that you're going to build this franchise around for the next 10 years. Number three, find yourself a number one wide receiver. Denzel Mims could be a number one, but he's not yet. Jamison Crowder is a slot receiver. You need to find a number one, a guy that will go out and catch that ball at the end of the game if you need be to throw a 50-yard pass down the field and make a play. Number four, figure out who and what your identity is going to be this offseason as far as the defense is concerned. And that means, are you a 4-3 defense or are you a 3-4 defense? And find the right fit, the right coach that is going to bring this team back to prominence that we saw in the Rex Ryan era. Number five, you need a pass rusher. You don't have one. You have a deadly middle guy, defensive tackle, nose tackle, whatever you want to call him, Quentin Williams, who's a beast of a man. But you have no pass rusher on the edge. The last time you had a pass rusher was John Abraham. Number six, and the last and final thing the Jets need to compete next season. Find yourself a number one corner. You do not have a number one corner. I love what I've seen with Bryce Hall. I love it. I think the kid's going to be a great player. It's going to take a little while. He's not ready for prominence. He's not ready for superstardom. He is not Darrelle Revis. He's not any of these top end corners that we've seen come out of the draft because he was a 6th round draft pick. Corner is going to play a big part. You do have your left tackle. If you decide you want to move Clark to the starting lineup, you bring Clark in, who you drafted in the 4th or 5th round, and move him right next to Mekhi Becton. They're good friends. If you want to go after another tackle in the draft, you have all these 2nd and 3rd round draft picks at your disposal. You can do whatever you want with those picks. There are a lot of things the Jets were missing this year, but leadership has been the worst in the NFL. The worst. Sam Darnold, as much as I love the kid, I think the kid is a great player. I think he's going to succeed in the NFL, just not with the New York Jets. He doesn't take over the huddle. You see it. When you have a guy, say whatever you want about Baker Mayfield. I can't stand the guy. Say whatever you want about Baker Mayfield. He controls the huddle. Lamar Jackson controls the huddle. Patrick Mahomes controls the huddle. Deshaun Watson controls the huddle. Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, they do not control the huddle. You see it in their faces. You see the players are not persistent when these guys are standing in the huddle, and you see that they're looking at butterflies in the air instead of looking at the play. There is a lot of problems moving forward with this team and this organization. But I trust that Joe Douglas is going to get it right. I trusted him in the draft last year, and he got 5 starters. 5 starters in that draft last year. When was the last time you can say that the New York Jets in a draft got 5 starters out of that draft? And the answer is, I don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe when Eric Mangini was coaching in that Darrelle Revis draft, or maybe with the Mangold and Ferguson draft, with the players they got in that draft. I don't remember. Right now, as a Jet fan, personally, you have to put all your eggs into one basket, and that is Joe Douglas's Easter Oscar Mayer basket. Because Joe Douglas can change this franchise finally to an organization that isn't a laughingstock. Isn't an organization where you say, oh, there are the Jets, gang green or gang fools. They have been clowns of the NFL since Rex Ryan. Actually, even before Rex Ryan. And I am a Jet fan. The Jets need to let this guy, Christopher Johnson, Woody Johnson, have to let this guy control the room, control the interview, control what this team is going to be moving forward for the next few years. Trust in the guy you hired. He fired Adam Gase. Thank God. It has been an embarrassment. This year has been nothing but an embarrassment. And you want to know something? And this is me talking fairly. If you ask me, who do I want in this year's draft at number 2, the answer is Justin Fields. It is Justin Fields who I want for the New York Jets. I'm going to tell you why. Justin Fields has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody's been saying that Trevor Lawrence is a generational type of talent. And they make fun of Justin Fields, saying that this kid might be good. He might not even be the 3rd best quarterback in this draft, which is a crazy remark. And he went into the Sugar Bowl making a statement. 6 touchdowns, 385 yards, 1 interception, 60 yards running. He showed you why he should be the number 1 draft pick in the NFL draft this year. And he is going to go in the national title game, and I'm going to put, anybody want to bet me, he is going to beat the Alabama Crimson Tide. And he is going to win a national title. And he will, if anything, what this story comes out with Jacksonville, that it could be Urban Meyer or Day getting that job. Justin Fields will be the number 1 pick. But if you were a Jet fan and you were to choose right now, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or even Zach Wilson, you're going with Justin Fields, because every single time the Jets get the quarterback that everybody says fits that team, he's the superstar. Sam Darnold's I don't know. Give me another quarterback. Chad Pennington
would be the next one.
I mean, any one of these guys that they drafted in the first round, Sanchez, all these guys, he is the one that nobody wanted. He's the one that everybody's guessing. Oh, I don't know if he's going to fit. I don't know if he's going to be the guy. I don't know if he's going to help. He might be another wasted draft pick. He is the guy. He is the guy for the Jets. We will see if the Jets get it right. David Shaw is not going to the New York Jets. David Shaw is not even going to be talked about with any of these shots. He's not leaving Stanford.
Yeah, I think he would have been hired already, so.
He's not leaving Stanford. But let's be honest right now. When you look at the New York Jets and honestly believe that the New York Jets have not been a mockery, have not been a joke of an organization, well, I don't know what more to say. I don't know what more to say. I'm trying to get, I wonder if is CJ calling the show?
CJ's right here.
CJ, what's going on, man?
What's going on, gentlemen?
How are you?
Doing great. Today is a wonderful day in New York Jets land.
Well, I want to, obviously we want to know why you think it's a wonderful Jets land, because I said my take. You're on. I'm giving you the reins here. Why do you think this is a great day for New York Jets football?
Because the New York Jet fan base can finally exhale. Because the nightmare that we have been living with for the past 2 years is now over and done with. And most of all, Chris Johnson has actually come out and acquiesced that Joe Douglas will be taking point on the head coaching search, and he will not interfere in any way, shape, or form, except to write the check. And that's the way that it should be. Another way is that Christopher Johnson is also taking a look at the New York Jets power structure within the organization, about how the past decade plus, having the head coach and the GM on equal footing has not worked. It may work in other organizations, but it does not work within the New York Jets. And we've seen that for the past decade plus. So Christopher Johnson recognized that it was time for a change. He saw that the fan base was very angry with the lack of production and the lack of the competitive product that was put on the football field. And we can finally kind of look at him a little bit differently as, okay, we think he figured it out by letting his football people now take the helm and be able to make those football decisions that need to be made so the New York Jets can become relevant again. Now, that being said, Joe Douglas does not have an easy task in front of him. Joe Douglas has a mountain of holes to fill, starting with the quarterback position. Now, Errol, you and I spoke about this off the air briefly today. And if there was anybody who thought that Sam Darnold would actually have the opportunity to come back next year as the New York Jets quarterback, whatever chance of that happening fizzled in the New England Patriot game. And the reason being is because had Sam come out and play lights out in the finale against the New England Patriots and break that losing streak that the New York Jets have, that pretty much decade-long losing streak that we have against New England, even with them tilting sideways, then maybe, just maybe, Sam would have been under consideration to say, you know what? He's fighting for his job. He realizes what's at stake. We didn't see that from Sam Darnold yesterday. If you listen to the Sam Darnold press conference at the end of the game, he sounded like a guy who is just glad that this season is over. And that he basically just cannot wait to get out of New York, to just get away from the media, to get away from this circus, and to put his head in the sand. And it's unfortunate because myself being a big Sam Darnold fan, I really wanted him to succeed here. And I've come on my show, I've come on your show, I've gone on other podcasts and broadcasts and defended Sam Darnold tooth and nail, saying that the New York Jets organization had failed him from the time that he was drafted. But even after 3 years, no matter who your head coach is, I don't care if it's Farmer Fran from the Waterboy, you have to be able to pick up something from the offensive system. And he's still in year 3 making rookie mistakes. Now, he's young enough that with enough coaching and with enough development that he could probably play his way out of that. But myself as a New York Jets fan, he's not going to do it here because the Jets have thoroughly ruined him. So now it's back to square one, finding that franchise quarterback that can come in here and slay the dragon. And quite frankly, I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is the answer. And I wholeheartedly agree with you that after his performance against Clemson in the Sugar Bowl, Justin Fields looks like more of a solid bet coming into the NFL than Trevor Lawrence does. I actually went back and looked at the replay of that game because I really wanted to see what people exactly were talking about. And there were times where Trevor Lawrence looked confused, looked like his head was swimming, looked like that he was frustrated. If you can't win big games in the college scenario, how do you expect to win big games in the NFL? And I posed that question to both of you gentlemen. What were your thoughts on what you saw between Clemson and Ohio State in that Sugar Bowl game?
It was definitely that Lawrence was looking like he was game planned for much better. I think Fields, they were being aggressive with, even with him having the broken ribs, taking shots down the field. They stayed aggressive with it. Whereas Lawrence, he really only did well with short throws, and that was it. And they couldn't really expand on that because of that. So I think that was really the biggest difference. I think talent-wise, they're really neck and neck, and it shows how good Fields is. And anyone who said he was not even the third best quarterback, oh my God, were they in for an awakening?
Well, and I also believe when you watch Justin Fields play, he has a chip on his shoulder. And when you come to New York, you have to have a chip on your shoulder if you want to succeed. Joe Namath said it when he came to the New York Jets. Yeah, I wasn't even alive. And he said, before he was called Broadway Joe, he said that when you come here, it's not only the bright lights that are put on you, it's the fans, it's everybody. The New York Jet fans are so dedicated to their fans out here just as much as any team in football, just like Pittsburgh, just like the Cowboys, even just like the Giant fans. They're all about the gang green. So I do believe that because of the chip on his shoulder, why everybody thinks that this kid isn't the best quarterback, a generational type of talent. He is the perfect guy to slay the dragon. One reason why, more than any other reason, is the fact that everybody keeps talking about Trevor Lawrence, that he's the guy. He's the guy, and he's the best quarterback by far in this class. It's not even close. Meanwhile, Justin Fields was the number one recruit of that class of quarterbacks, not Trevor Lawrence. And this kid got screwed around in Georgia, and then he decided to take his talent all the way to Ohio State. And look what he's done for Ohio State. He's lost one college game his whole college career. One. Trevor Lawrence now lost two. And Trevor lost the two games that he lost were two huge games, the Sugar Bowl and the national title game last year against LSU. This guy went into the Sugar Bowl when he should, by the way, the only game he lost was against Trevor Lawrence, by the way, where he played better than Trevor Lawrence in that game. And now you're looking at a Sugar Bowl where he had more to prove than anybody. He had 6 touchdowns. Six touchdowns, which is the most Ohio State quarterback has ever thrown in a national title game. Check that. In a Sugar Bowl. Check that. It's the most touchdowns anybody has ever thrown in a Sugar Bowl. And now he's going to go against Alabama. And if he beats Alabama, remember, Trevor Lawrence has one national championship. That was his freshman year. He lost against LSU, and now he lost in the Sugar Bowl. What makes him better than Justin Fields? Numbers will show you they're not far apart. Numbers will show you that Justin Fields is more of an accurate thrower than Trevor Lawrence, and numbers will show you that Justin Fields plays better in the big game than Trevor Lawrence. So what does that tell you? It's a no-brainer for the New York Jets organization. If Trevor Lawrence, by sure luck, which we all know it's not luck, he goes number 1 to Jacksonville, the guy to draft is Justin Fields. That's it. Justin Fields.
Yeah, that just made the number 2 pick for the New York Jets, in which a lot of people were saying that because the Jets had lost the first overall pick, that the New York Jets were now no longer an attractive job. Considering the events of what happened last weekend, I think that now the tide has turned, and I think that the New York Jets find themselves in a very lucrative position where now the number 2 overall pick has become incredibly valuable, and the New York Jets head coaching job has now just regained some of its attractiveness, so to speak. because
like a naked woman, right? Like a naked woman, right?
Yeah, I guess you could, if you want to use that analogy, I guess you could say that. I mean,
Well,
it all depends on who the naked woman is. So,
well, you just said it. It makes it attractive. So, if it's a naked woman, it makes it attractive, right?
Absolutely. I'll take your word for it.
I guess the Jets are a sexy Victoria's Secrets model. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that would actually be a very good analogy because of the fact of all the draft capital that the Jets have to play with, plus the amount of cap space that they have. They have a lot of maneuverability in which they can move and also renegotiate contracts. They can go out and go big game hunting, so to speak, for free agents and really have the ability to patch up a good number of these holes, not just in free agency, but also within the draft, in which something called competitive sustainability can now be formulated and start to grow within this organization. And competitive sustainability is something that this franchise has not had, because being a New York Jets fan is like being on a roller coaster. One year you go 10-6, the next year you go 4-12. Then the next year you go 6-10, then the next year you go 9-7. And then you go 4-12 or 5-11 for successive years. Jet fans are tired of the roller coaster because we're watching teams with less resources do more than what the New York Jets have done. And it's time that if the New York Jets are going to be considered a big boy football team, you've got to start making big boy football moves. So it's time for Joe Douglas to put the big boy pants on and to go out there and to start making some moves to turn this program around. And the next head coach shouldn't be the sexy name. Like I keep hearing Jim Harbaugh's name thrown around. I don't want a sexy name coaching the New York Jets because that sexy name is not going to translate into a competitive record. That sexy name is just going to translate into headlines within the New York Daily News, the New York Post, the New York Times, Newsday, whatever. I want a guy who's going to come in here and who's going to be the CEO of the football team, who's going to be a leader amongst men, and who's going to build a competent, competitive, sustainable football program. We've watched our next-door neighbors do it, the New York Giants. We watched our neighbors to the north do it, the Buffalo Bills.
Hold on. The New York Giants? What if the New York Giants do this? What did they do this year? What did they do?
Listen,
Joe Judge.
Even though the NFC East was a complete dumpster fire, the Giants were still in contention for a division title. No. And I don't care if it's 6-10, 7-9. You know what? If they would have made the playoffs, they still would have gotten farther than the New York Jets, Errol. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Joe Judge has got that program turning around. They're starting to believe in what he's selling, and they're playing hard for him.
Well,
okay, that's what I want a guy to come to the New York Jets and do. I want a guy who is not going to be afraid to take the bull by the horns and to turn this program around.
All right, CJ, before I let you go, you bring up the New York Giants. The New York Giants haven't done anything. The Giants haven't won anything. They haven't gone anywhere for how many years? So to bring up the New York Giants, the last time they made the playoffs was when? Ben McAdoo?
2016, yeah.
I mean, Ben McAdoo. So don't bring up the New York Giants and try to compare. You want to talk about a team? The Browns. The Browns make more sense. Bringing in a new coach and taking them all the way to the playoffs. You want to bring in somebody? You want to name somebody? Name that. Don't bring the New York Giants. I'm not taking a shot at the New York Giants and the organization. But Joe Judge, we see what he's done. He's got to get that team over the hump. He's got to get that team into the playoffs. The last guy to do it was a guy that the Giants ran out after that year, Ben McAdoo. So let's wait and see what Joe Douglas is going to do before you give him all the reins. Oh, my God, the Jets got to be like the Giants. The Giants haven't done anything yet. So let the Giants do something first. Then you try to compare the Giants to the Jets. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I think you're wrong about that. You cannot. Maybe the Giants would have went further than the Jets. Maybe I would agree with you. But again, that doesn't sell anything. That doesn't tell me much when they're in the NFC East, the worst division in all of sports. So
well, that's this year. And also keep in mind, which is one thing that Giant fans love to throw up in Jets fans' faces. How many more Lombardis do they have than the New York Jets.
3.
Right. And you know what? That's 3 more than what we got.
Good for them. Good for them. Nobody's saying that they haven't succeeded in 2011, 2007. But the New York Jets, they're a different organization. They ran differently. And hopefully by bringing Joe Douglas in and changing the remarks and the jokes and the clown jokes and the circus jokes that we've heard over the years, maybe Joe Douglas can change that. Hopefully can change that. CJ, thank you for calling. Thank you for joining us. I guess you could say a special show tonight at 8 p.m. of Weapons Hot. If you guys love the Jets, listen to CJ, Kevin, and his teams of goons. I'm just kidding. Gangrene goons coming on and attacking and hopefully figuring out their arguments on who the next head coach will be with the New York Football Jets. CJ, thanks.
Thanks for having me on. Night, guys.
And I call them goons because I love their show. It's back and forth banter. It's so funny. They are a little crazy, that's for sure. They'll have 6 or 7 Jet fans on that show, and they'll go all different places. It's so funny. You have CJ trying to control the show, Kevin trying to get his last licks in, and then all the other guys, Jimmy and this guy and that guy. It's hilarious. You guys, I'm telling you, if you want to laugh and you want to listen to a great show, check out Weapons Hot. Great show. We're not going to go to a break. Before we introduce our next guest, we're very excited to have him on again. Carl says, what if Fields goes number 1? Are you okay with Jets taking Trevor Lawrence? The answer is yes, I am okay with Trevor Lawrence. Do I trust Trevor Lawrence in a big game? I haven't seen Trevor Lawrence win a big game since his freshman year. So the answer would be, I don't know what Trevor Lawrence is in the big game. I know what Justin Fields is in the big game. You saw what he did against Trevor Lawrence the year before. He outplayed Trevor Lawrence in that game. And you see what he did this year. He outplayed Trevor Lawrence in this game. So when you're talking about winning championships, it's not about statistics. And I'll tell you this. Everybody says, well, I guess you would take Tom Brady over Peyton Manning. No. I would take Peyton Manning over Tom Brady because of numbers and what Peyton Manning did over a consistent amount of time with different coaches. Tom Brady was under one coach, and I'm not saying Tom Brady is not one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, because that's not my argument. I'd take Peyton Manning over him. But winning the big game, I'd take Tom Brady. In the big game, when you want to win that big game, you're going to take Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence, no matter what the stats will sell to you or what the stats are going to tell you on a piece of paper. That's all I'm going to say. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, actually, we're not going to a break. I keep forgetting that. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that would sell to all the fans over here. All right. I want to apologize to this guest. We had him on a couple of months ago. We really like the kid. He is a diehard New York Giants fan. We are now talking to Oregon safety Marko Vidackovic. Marko, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You look like you put on some weight, bud.
Yeah, I gained a few pounds for sure.
That's good, man. It's good for football. It's good to get your body into shape for next season. Oregon's going to need you. That's for damn sure after what happened against Iowa State. And to me, could be the next head coach for the New York Jets, Matt Campbell. So before we get into that, how are you and your family doing with this pandemic?
Pretty good. My family moved back to Germany now. So they're doing pretty good. They're actually on a lockdown right now. But yeah, they're doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good over here. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least you're safe. You're not sick. And if you want, you can come over and beat Speedy up. But you're not, because you guys are Giant fans, unfortunately. Anyways, so I'd like to know your opinion of the New York Giants season after watching them and actually getting knocked off by the Philadelphia Eagles because they decided not to play in the second half. So what was your thought of the Giants season, and what were your thoughts from last night, that debacle of Philadelphia? And I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan too. I root them on besides the Jets. I thought that was a complete debacle. I think the Eagles really screwed the Giants. What were your thoughts with the Giants season and that?
So for the season, I would definitely say big step in the right direction. We started off horrible. I think, 1-7? Completely horrible. Was looking like we might have the number 1 pick. But then we turned around second half of the year. Went 5-3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty good. We beat a good team in the Seahawks. We played good down the stretch. I think we would have won the division if a few plays didn't happen this year, like the Evan Ingram drop versus the Eagles. If we win, because we win that game if he catches that, and
I agree with you.
Then there's no debate on what happens last night. And last night, you have Jalen Hurts in there for 3 quarters. It should have been 17-17. I don't know why they went for it on 4th and goal when they could have just tied the game up. And then they put the 3rd stringer in for some reason. I don't know why, but sure looked like they were trying to throw the game to get a better pick. I don't think that we would ever do that. I don't think that the Cowboys would even ever do that, or even the football team now. But I guess that's what the Eagles do.
So as a defensive player, what were some of your impressions of the Giants defense this year? Was initially at the start of the season, we knew they had the upfront talent with Williams and Lawrence and guys like that, but we didn't know about the secondary. They bring in Bradbury, and the linebackers especially played very well too. And obviously you being a safety, Xavier McKinney, a big specialty from this draft. So what were some of your impressions of the defense, both individually and as a team unit?
So individually, I was very happy to see that Leonard Williams play really good. He had 3 sacks again yesterday. It's safe to say that I'm pretty sure everybody wants him re-signed. And then, even just Dexter Lawrence played amazing. Dalvin Thompson played amazing. And then Blake Martinez was a beast in the middle of the field, that middle linebacker. I think he had like 150 tackles. And then, the signing of Bradbury was big. You could obviously see that because we were isolating him a lot to the field with the number 1 receivers of every team. And then, I'm just excited to see what next year's going to hold for McKinney and Jabril up top. I also thought Julian Love played good at corner towards the end of the year when they moved him there. So that, and I'm happy we re-signed Logan Ryan. So I just think if we have the way our defense kind of meshed and the way they play together and how hard they played under Patrick Graham.
Did we lose him? Did he freeze to death? Did he freeze to death over there? He was there. Hold on. We're getting him back. There he is. Sorry. We missed the last part.
McKinney didn't really play this year, and now towards the end of the year he played, and he played pretty good yesterday too. So I'm just excited to see where it goes next year. We have a lot of guys still under contract. Hopefully we re-sign Blake Martinez. We re-sign Leonard Williams, and maybe draft another linebacker. I feel like we need more of a coverage linebacker, but we'll see. And maybe more of an edge threat because we have interior D lineman, but not really an outside threat. But we'll see. It'll be good for sure.
We are talking to Oregon safety Marko Vidackovic. We had him on a show a couple of months ago, actually about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and he was great. We're happy to have him on again. Shout out to Jillian for getting Marko back on, and we're rooting for him next year in a season where Oregon could be really, really tough, really, really good. What were your thoughts on the ball game? Iowa State, it was a great game. It was a fun game to watch. But at the end of the game, you saw Matt Campbell and his Iowa State team just completely dominate the game the last 10, 12 minutes of the game. What were your thoughts of the ball game?
I would definitely say they played a great game. Definitely hats off to them. They won that game. But I feel like we definitely shot ourselves in the foot. We had 5 turnovers. There's no way you would ever win a game having 5 turnovers. Yet after we had 3, I felt like we were still in the game. But, we basically killed our own chances of winning that game with all the turnovers. So that's something we got to work on for next year, and then we'll definitely be back there sooner rather than later.
So throughout the year, obviously a very small sample size because it was a shortened season for the Pac-12. What were some of your impressions of your Oregon defensive teammates? Obviously, we know about the defensive lineman with Thibodeau and Salai, I never can pronounce his name, and then Brady Breeze as well at safety, who was one of the best in the nation. But even some of the other guys, some of the younger players, what were some of your impressions of the way they played this year?
I would definitely say I was very impressed by all of them. learning a lot from each and every player, just seeing how they conduct themselves at practice, how they treat practice, how they treat the weight room, and even just off the field. And then just as a unit, just the way we responded, we kind of started off slow, but then we got better and better each game. When I thought we played really good, even versus Iowa State in the second half, we played really good versus USC. One of my teammates, Jamal Hill, he basically like a bigger brother to me. I look up to him, and he played amazing versus USC. And just to see the work they put in on a daily basis, and seeing how that definitely always pays off that was just amazing to see this year.
Now, Marko, you look at college football now, and everybody keeps talking about Trevor Lawrence and the fact that he's a generational type of talent. And you watch in the Sugar Bowl, Justin Fields outplayed him in the Sugar Bowl. So a chip on your shoulder type of player that went out there and has an opportunity now to win a national title against Alabama. When you look at your position and the safety position, is there a particular player that you saw this year that stood out to you and really took their team to higher heights like you saw Justin Fields do in the Sugar Bowl?
So at the safety position?
Yes, at the safety position.
To be honest, I didn't really pay much attention to the other teams. I was just going to focus on us the whole year. I watched the games, but didn't really pay particular attention to them. But I mean, I would just say on our team, Nick Pickett definitely elevated our standard. Verone McKinley elevated our standard, and they kept at it. They kept bringing the juice every day at practice, and it definitely showed up on game days. And even same thing with Jamal Hill. They always showed up in practice, and then it showed up in the games, and it definitely gave us the juice we needed.
So the Pac-12, their players were a big advocate for the safer season. They want having players get support more often, healthy, stuff like that. And we see the balance of power in the NFL and even the NBA, especially the NBA, shifting where it's a players-run league. But in college, it's not really like that. Do you think this could be the steps to start something like that? Because you saw other schools and other players really start to catch on to that from what the Pac-12 players were doing.
Yeah, I definitely think that's just going to keep progressing in the future. It's just going to keep progressing, and there's going to be more done in the future for sure, I feel like. And it's just going to keep on going from here on now. It's just going to keep it getting better. So I can't wait to see what the future holds in regards to that.
We are talking to Oregon safety Marko Vidackovic. I love it. Vidakovich, the German sensation, New York wonder, and will play for the New York Jets, not the New York Giants, just so you know. You see his faces every time. Listen, if you want to piss off Marko, all you got to say is the Giants stink and the Jets rule. There you go, and he'll make his.
No, that's not true.
Come on, Marko. You can say the same thing in reverse to piss him off.
Well, I'll tell you the Jets stink too. You know, that's coming from a Jet fan. But so, what are your thoughts this year with the NFL adding the extra team to make the playoffs? Do you find this move to really change the NFL moving forward? Are you surprised that a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't win their division? They're a 5th seed. Do you see them going all the way to the Super Bowl? What are your thoughts to the playoff roles of some of these teams? What are your thoughts to the new rules of the playoffs with the added team? So is there anything that stands out to you now watching 2021 playoffs for the National Football League?
Yeah, well, at first when they came out with the rule before the season, I was kind of skeptic, and I was kind of like, why would you take another bye week away from like the second best team in the conference? But looking at it now, I feel like they definitely made it more competitive. They had 3 teams yesterday, all had to basically play their starters, the Packers, the Saints, and the Seahawks, because they were trying to get the number 1 seed and get that bye week. So it's definitely making it more competitive to be good and to earn your bye week. And then, obviously with the Buccaneers, anytime you have a team better in your division, it's always going to stink that you're the wild card team. But I feel like adding that 3rd wild card team also gives room to another really good team to make the playoffs. I feel like that was the case in the AFC this year, not so much in the NFC, because I don't think the Bears are really – I don't think they're going to do anything. But the AFC, the Colts, the Browns, and the Ravens, all of them deserved it. So I think that's definitely going to bring a lot more competitive to the playoffs. And in terms of the Buccaneers, I think if Mike Evans can play next week, or at least come back in 2 weeks, because I don't think they'll have a problem next week with the football team. I can see them making a run because I'm never going to bet against Tom Brady, especially come playoff time. And they have a really good defense. Really good defense. And now Antonio Brown's starting to catch his stride. The running game looks good. Brady started playing better towards the end of the year. I'm pretty sure he had like 3 games now in the past like 4 weeks where he threw 4 touchdowns, almost 400 yards. So like, if Evans isn't hurt seriously, this is it's gonna be dangerous. I think it's gonna be them or the Packers for the Super Bowl then.
So from one playoff to the other, college football playoff, there was a lot of controversy of who was going to get that 4th seed. Now, obviously, Alabama probably would have blown out any of those teams anyway. But, I mean, there's been a talk for a while with the 8 teams, 12 teams, 16 teams of playoff expansion. And especially you being a Pac-12 guy, they've only made the playoff once in 2016 with Washington. What do you think the college football playoff should expand more like that, make it more like the NCAA tournament or something like that in basketball? And if so, how many teams do you think is best?
I definitely think they should expand it. I like the 8-team idea because that doesn't make it too big. I mean, I know how they do it on the FCS level. I think they have 32 teams in there. Mm-hmm. I think that's maybe a little too big, and I feel like that could wear teams down more if they had to play more games. But I definitely like the idea of playing, I guess, 3 games in the playoffs with the 8 teams. Or however you would do that then. But I like the 8-team idea because I still think that allows, I guess, the favorites not to have too many games, but that also gives other teams more of a shot that I feel like deserve it every year, because I felt like this year teams like Cincinnati deserved it. They definitely deserve the shot. Texas A&M deserves a shot, but just because of the 4-team, I guess, format, they couldn't make it, and I feel like that's how it is every year. That's why I feel like it should get expanded.
As you guys know, we are talking to Oregon safety Marko Vidackovic. Marko, before we let you go, okay, and I know you're a busy guy over there at the great – you're in Oregon right now, right? You're hanging out over there, chilling out, partying with the all COVID ladies dancing around with their masks on, right? No partying over there? Nothing? Man, that sucks, man.
He would have been partying if the Giants won the division, though.
I don't know. He'd be hanging out in his small little tier of a closet of a room, and he'd be putting on a Happy Feet or whatever the heck he watches on TV and enjoy himself, right?
Probably put on a Super Bowl run, but we'll see.
So before we let you go, what stands out to you coming into this new season, 2021, this new year? What are you looking forward to? As far as you as a player, as your career, your family life, what are you looking forward to in 2021 after that horrible 2020?
Hopefully, I mean, just in general, talking about life, hopefully everything comes back to normal sooner rather than later. I feel like everybody's, I guess, kind of had enough of the COVID lifestyle now. Hopefully it goes away soon. But then in terms of, school, hopefully just keep my grades up, learn a lot this year. And then in terms of football, just getting better with every opportunity that I get, going hard in the weight room, and just becoming a better player, understanding the game better. And just in every aspect of my life, just trying to improve. That's always the goal. And then, hopefully life just gets normal soon.
Well, I'm going to be rooting for you, man. I'm going to be rooting for you. I know you're a Giant fan. That's the only thing I don't like about you. That's the only thing I don't like about you. You're German. I'm German. We've got a lot in common. And I don't know how to speak German. You do. So you can help me with that when we actually get a chance to meet when you get drafted, okay, to the New York Jets.
I might have to pull Eli Manning on that.
Well, all right, Marko. Now you're starting to make me really not like you. But we really appreciate you joining us. We want to get you on when the season starts. We'd like to know how you feel, how your body feels with the new season. You look like you put on some weight since the last time we talked to you. So I could see the difference in your body, and I want to see you succeed, my friend. And happy that you're a fan of the show, and happy that you're a friend of the show, and looking forward to getting you on again.
Yep. appreciate you guys for having me on, and hopefully I'll be on again in the future.
Oh, you will. Absolutely will have you on. We love you, man. So stay safe. Stay less egotistic like this guy over here. Make sure that you don't buy yourself those SpongeBob tidy whities.
They don't exist. Don't listen to him, Marko.
Make sure you don't go and buy those. But all in all, I wish you all the luck in the world, and we'll be in touch very, very soon, Marko.
All right. Sounds good.
Marko Vidackovic, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon. Yes, not Oregon State. Oregon. Strong safety. Love the kid. Very, very nice kid. Very smart kid. And has definitely a unique personality. So
absolutely,
so a lot of these guys have unique personalities. But all in all, I've been very, very excited about the growth of where our network has been. Over 45,000 downloads on Apple this past month. So I'd like to thank all the fans for downloading and really showing the support that they do all over the country. I really do appreciate it. We're not going to go to a break. We're going to finish up with some football. We're going to go to a quick break in about 5 to 7 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to have our two very special guests. We will be talking to hosts of Slapshot Sweethearts Podcast, Megan, Rachel, and Shannon Walsh. So they'll be with us in just a few moments. We'll talk a little hockey, talk about their podcast, the show, their endeavors, their future endeavors as a radio show host. So definitely going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with them in in a few moments. So I will say this about the NFL. Okay. And I know everybody keeps talking about the coaches, and now you're talking about who's going to get the Jacksonville job, who wants the Jacksonville job, and who's going to want the Chargers job. Is there any other coaches that are going to get fired in the next couple of days? I still think there are going to be possibly 1 to 3 teams that are still going to fire their coaches. There's probably just doing their due diligently right now and just taking their time on deciding if they're going to fire them or keep them. So it's going to be very interesting moving forward. But there are 2 teams that I'm very excited for a possible playoff run. And one of those is the Colts.
Really?
Yes. I think the Colts can surprise the country next week against the Buffalo Bills.
Really?
Yes, I do. I don't still trust Josh Allen in the big game. Josh Allen last year, you saw what happened in the big game. In the second half, he put up a dud. And then he went to overtime and lost against a team that he should have beaten in the Tennessee Titans. Okay? I thought they were the better team last year. Tennessee made that run and almost went to the Super Bowl. But the Colts have all the pieces to knock off this team. They're very good defensively. They're very good on both sides of the defensive side of the ball, in the secondary and their front seven.
Oh, yeah.
But I also like their offense. Their offense has gotten better all season long, especially in the second half of the season. They've put up, I think they're 8th or 9th in the league in offense in the last 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's been insane.
They've been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. And with that defense, anything could happen. We talk about Eberfloss, whatever his name is, defensive coordinator. This defense is, all season long was rated in the top 5, and then fell all the way 2 or 3 spots in the last 3 games of the season. But this team has been on top of the league all season long. They're a scary, scary team moving forward.
That's what worries me the most is the way they've played a little bit lately. They blew the lead against the Steelers. They're up 24-7. They struggled with the Texans at both meetings, even though they barely held on. The Texans kept it close and really they beat themselves a lot of the time towards the end of the game. And then this week, too, against Jacksonville, they had a lot of trouble in that second half. So that the second halves, the way they've performed is starting to concern me a little bit with the Colts. So if their defense can get it going and they can build the lead, okay, but it's going to be hard against that Buffalo offense because they've looked very good. Ever since they lost that Hail Mary game, they've looked phenomenal.
And the Browns, it's crazy to say, but they're going into Pittsburgh. I don't trust Pittsburgh in this game. I think because of the running games, when you talk about Chubb and what Hunt could do, they can control the ball. If they can control the running game, they're going to control the game and the clock and dominate. Everybody knows what you need to win a Super Bowl, what you need to get through the playoffs is a good running game and a good defense and a quarterback that can make every single throw when need be. You don't need a superstar quarterback. What do the Browns have? The Browns have a great pass rush in Myles Garrett, and they have a great running game. The importance of what Pittsburgh has going into this game, they don't have a good pass rush. They really don't. They lost two big defensive players in the front seven, and their running game is one of the worst in the league.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going into this game against a team that's better in both perspectives. And it doesn't bowl well, Speedy. It doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think the Browns they match up well against the Steelers in certain areas. Even when losing Odell Beckham, they still got the receiving depth against them. Not great after Joe Hayden corners for the Steelers. So I think that ends up making a difference. And if you're going to beat the Browns, you want to beat them over the middle. But the Steelers aren't really that kind of team either. Plus, remember, Denzel Ward did not play this week. He's going to be coming back next week. And that's a big difference in terms of moving up on the receiver rankings. I don't think you're going to see the impact from Claypool either. The Steelers, another team struggling down the stretch. I'm concerned too. I agree with you.
And the best game of the weekend next week, and we will make our picks. I'm not going to make my picks yet. The Ravens versus the Tennessee Titans.
There's going to be some blood in that.
That's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm telling you right now, the Ravens could knock off Tennessee, and I picked the Ravens to go all the way this year. I still think with the Ravens, yes, they've lost a lot of significant players this offseason. They've gotten healthier, and they're a lot better. And Lamar Jackson can make everything change if he can win the big game. And if he knocks off the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry, 2,000-yard runner this year, I believe is the MVP of the league. He was absolutely the MVP of the league. He's not going to get it. It's going to go to Aaron Rodgers. Right. But I think what Derrick Henry has done has been sensational. Last guy to get 2,000 yards, who was it?
It was Adrian Peterson
the
year after he tore his ACL and MCL. Still the best year I've ever seen from a running back.
It's been fantastic. He's been fantastic. But I think the Ravens are the better all-around team. I still think the Ravens are the better all-around team. And going into this series, they're the better all-around team. So that's going to be the best game of the weekend. I guarantee you. And don't be surprised if Washington knocks off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, that game will be close too. What'll be interesting with the Titans and the Ravens is who can attack which weakness. The Titans secondary has been down this year. Butler's played well, but that's really it. And Byard, but that's really it. They lost a lot in the offseason, and their pass rush has really struggled. But again, so have the Ravens receivers. The Ravens receivers are very untrustworthy. So I think whoever wins that individual matchup with each other is going to win the game, because the defense and the running offenses will cancel out, I think, in a sense, kind of like it did in the regular season meeting this year, not the playoff meeting last year. So I think whoever wins the passing attack with the Titans secondary and the Ravens receivers, that'll be the difference in this game.
What game really stands out to you this coming weekend, and why?
I think the Rams-Seahawks is definitely an interesting one. Obviously, if Jared Goff plays. If Jared Goff doesn't play, that's going to be very hard for the Rams. But again, Seattle's defense, are they actually for real, or are they a product of playing bad teams recently? Because they have gotten better, but they play the NFC East, they play the Jets. I mean, there's a lot of different things. And the Rams, who are they? Like, they're one of the weirdest teams to figure out this year. One week their offense is lighting it up, and another week they're throwing up duds against the 49ers and losing to the Jets. So, I mean, who are they? The Rams and Seahawks always play weird games. I'm excited to see what that one will bring. I think it's wacky. The two very good coaches, too.
And the two teams that the Jets beat are in the playoffs. So what does that say about those teams?
Apparently they weren't rattled enough by the Jets.
Obviously not. But the team that you don't really worry about this playoff run, as far as I'm concerned, on Sunday is the Saints. I think the Saints are far and along the better team against the Chicago Bears. It's been unbelievable. What the Chicago Bears did in the second half of the season is absolutely remarkable. You say whatever you want. I'm not a Nagy fan. I don't think Nagy is a good head coach. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. They've been sensational. They really have. The defense is woken up. Hopefully, Roquan Smith plays in this game because they need him. He left the game, I think, on an ankle injury or a foot injury. They need him. They need him if they plan to beat this team, the Saints, and be the biggest surprise of the playoff weekend. So they need Roquan Smith. Hopefully he plays in the game. But all in all, this is the Saints to lose. It really is. It's going to be very, very fun to watch. So.
Absolutely. And again, the Saints run defense too, number one in the league against David Montgomery. That's really the biggest offensive weapon the Bears have. That's going to make it very hard for them. And then Lattimore and Robinson, I think, kind of cancel out. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be hard for the Bears. I think if it was Saints and Rams, it would have been a more interesting game if Arizona actually did what they're supposed to and win. But now we get the Bears instead. And you're right. I think that'll be more of a blowout.
I'm pissed off because I'm still tied with Josh. It just doesn't make me any happier. But this week it's win or lose, baby. And I think I'm going to kill them in the playoffs. I usually win the playoff picks. So this is mine to win, okay? Not Josh to win. So just so you know, Josh, I know Josh had a smile on his face because he thought he was going to win this week. He didn't win this week. So there you go. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we're going to have two wonderful ladies joining us on our show. Two hockey ladies. Yes, two hockey fans, two hockey people. And they have a wonderful, wonderful podcast on Belly Up Sports. Looking to get them on, talk a little hockey with them, have a little fun with them. We will be talking to the hosts of Slapshot Sweethearts Podcast, Megan Rachel and Shannon Walsh, here on Down to the Wire.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to Down to the Wire on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What is this? What is this, Speedy?
Outcast.
Outcast? This is what you play?
You like hip-hop?
I do like hip-hop. It sounds like I'm in like some kind of like a parade or something. It does. As you guys know, this is Down to the Wire. We are live every single Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. You can call us at 631-965-4990. You can also go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Download our app. Yes, iOS, WWSRN, or Android, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Outcast, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Speedy scaring all the fans away. Yep, scaring them far, far, far away. Well, these two ladies aren't going to scare the fans away, but Speedy, when he smiles, he scares the fans away. And hopefully these ladies actually don't know anything about Speedy's tidy whities. That's for damn
They
sure.
don't exist.
They do exist. SpongeBob and Scooby-Doo tidy whities is what he wears to bed every single night. And he has come on this show, ladies and gentlemen, and worn his pajamas.
I said at my house. I did not
worn
say
his
here.
pajamas with no underwear on. This guy,
I
Commando.
said at my house.
Commando
not here.
sitting next to me. What kind of man does that?
No, I said
What
at my
kind of man
house.
does that? I am lost.
I will show
I
you
am
the
lost.
proof.
I don't need you to show me the proof. I do not want to see you butt-ass naked, okay? I am good. I am good sitting within 2 or 3 feet away from you. I should have a bigger table here at the studios, so I don't have to sit next to you that quick. But anyways, we are now talking to the hosts, hosts of the Slapshot Sweethearts podcast, Megan Rachel and Shannon Walsh. What's going on, Megan and Shannon? How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having us. Okay. Thanks for having us on. We're doing well.
Well, I do like having beautiful women on. Hopefully, you're not scared away by my fabulous, crazy producer.
Well, you talked a little bit about him not wearing pants before we introduced ourselves to each other, so we're off to a good start.
Well, hopefully. I hope you're not scared away or going to decide not to do this interview. So
we're just really getting to know each other.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, if you know what he wears, hopefully he's wearing underwear today.
I am. Again, he's lying. I'm not lying.
There's no lies.
I was over at my family's house for Thanksgiving break.
Liar.
Yes. And I couldn't get in the shower because my brothers were in there, and then I had to set up for the show. So I just left my pajamas on for the show. It was not here, though. I would never come in pajamas here to the show.
So you've never done a show in the studios with your pajamas on?
No.
Yes or no?
No,
that's a lie. That's a lie. Now you just lied.
I did not.
You have. I've seen you do it.
Not.
I've seen you do it. Don't lie.
Nope.
3 years of this.
Wrong.
I have
Wrong.
sat next to you with your pajamas, your fluffy wuff, whatever the hell you call them. They're whatever they are. Yeah, the smooth, whatever sensation that you wear. Anyways, this is not about you. This is about.
Are you talking like full on PJs or like sweatpants? Let's get that out of the way first.
There's a difference here.
Yeah, no, it's not. They're pajamas. They're loose.
Yeah, they're loose, all right. Hopefully we stay far, far away from this kid, especially with his pajamas on. Now I know that he goes into his pajamas butt-ass naked. Anyways, Commando Man over here. We are now talking to the hosts of Slapshot Sweethearts Podcast, Megan Rachel and Shannon Walsh. So, guys, how are you guys doing with your families with this pandemic?
Yeah, so my parents and brother are all essential workers, so they're pretty much just living life like nothing's going on. They still have to go to work and all of that. But I live in Washington, D.C., and they live in Massachusetts. So actually, I haven't been able to connect with them too much on it besides going home every few months for holidays or check-ins and things like that. Megan, I know you've been going back and forth from coast to coast, so.
Yeah, my life kind of got flipped upside down with this whole thing. I was living in New York, doing the New Yorker thing, and then this all hit, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm going to get out of here for a bit. So I moved to the Jersey Shore, and then when winter came, I decided to hop over to LA and give that a try. So I'm doing the bi-coastal thing. It's hard to travel because I'm very firm on the whole quarantine before I see my family thing. So of the 3 weeks I was on the East Coast for Christmas, 2 of them were spent alone, but it's worth it for the safety.
So what is the New York thing? What do you call the New York thing? You went to the Jersey Shore. I can't stand that show. I actually know.
Oh my God, it's so different. I swear that is not the life.
Well, first of all, the Jersey Shore. I know a bunch of the guys and girls that are on the show. I know them personally, and I am not a big fan of their show. I don't watch their show, so I can't stand when people say I gotta go home and watch the Jersey Shore for what? What the hell are you watching? A bunch of guys dancing around in the middle of a hallway. Anyways, so you're obviously hockey women. What made you guys decide to start a podcast and name it the Slapshot Sweethearts?
Yeah, so I actually have been with Belly Up Sports for a few months now. I'm on their leadership team. I work with their interns. I'm their basketball department head, actually, not their hockey department head. And so while I was there, they needed a new hockey flagship podcast, and their basketball flagship podcast is also hosted by 2 women. The whole shtick of it is that you're bringing new and innovative approaches to basketball analysis because it's 2 women and people don't expect it to be coming from women. So we kind of wanted to take that approach in terms of hockey, especially because hockey, unless you're watching the WNHL, does not come from a female perspective very often. So we kind of wanted to take that approach. Megan and I were close in college. We were both known in our sorority as like the sports girls to go to. So we kind of just took that, and it naturally formed together pretty quickly. So.
Yeah. Shannon said it. She came to me, asked if I was interested, and definitely was. Like, you don't really, like she said, hear a lot of female voices in hockey, and it's a fun space to come into. And luckily everyone's been pretty receptive to us so far. Everyone's super welcoming, wanting to work with us. So it's been fun and kind of all just came together well.
So what are some of those experiences you've had so far in the times you've done the podcast? What are whether it's guest banter or anything like that, interviews you might have done, like you're doing with us right now. What have been some of the best experiences and moments that you two have had so far with this podcast? And what is something that maybe you hope to grow into as it grows?
Yeah, we've done a few other interviews so far, just kind of like getting into the space with everyone. But for me, I think my highlight wasn't even an interview. We have gotten into a Twitter battle with the New Jersey Devil mascot. So I am loving it, every second of it. I was like driving somewhere over the weekend and Shannon was like sending messages to my friend who was in my car. I was like, you have to read this to me. I need to know what's happening. Like, I can't wait till I get home. Like, tell me what's happening.
Oh, we are talking to the host of the Slapshot Sweethearts Podcast, Megan Rachel and Shannon Walsh. So, guys, first of all, what teams do you root for when it comes to the NHL? And now that you know what teams you root for, what are you looking forward to with the NHL season about to start?
Yeah, so I'm a Bruins fan. I have a soft spot for the Flyers. That's my boyfriend's team, and the Capitals, just because I live in DC. My soft spot for the Capitals has waned a bit since they took Chara from me, but I still, love that I'm here and can support them in some fashion. So I know Megan has a couple teams as well.
Yeah, I am a Penguins fan.
Uh-oh.
At the end of the day, I will defend it till the day I die. I, like Shannon, have a soft spot for the Caps. I lived in DC for a few years, but I also have a flirtation with the Vegas Golden Knights that I will not let go of.
And what's that flirtation?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Well, he has been a good goaltender everywhere he's gone. I will say that. And then he gets into these clusters where other goalies take over his job. So that's happened to Marc-Andre Fleury everywhere he's gone. But he's a great goaltender. He's been successful everywhere he's gone. So I have to give him credit like that. But so I am an Islander fan, okay? And the New York Islanders last year went to the Eastern Conference Championship. And a lot of Ranger fans, a lot of people around the NHL took shots at the New York Islanders because at the time that they canceled the season because of COVID-19, the Islanders weren't playing good hockey. They were only 1 point over the Rangers, and everybody was saying the Islanders didn't belong there. They got Pelech back, and they started playing good hockey in the playoffs, went all the way to the Eastern Conference Championship, and played great hockey. Were you surprised, or were you one of those people, or both of you those type of people that took shots at the Islanders because the Islanders squeaked into the playoffs because of the COVID-19 situation? Or were you absolutely impressed with what the Islanders did all the way to the Eastern Conference Championship?
I was pretty impressed with that. But like, I know on our podcast last week, we kind of like did our like picks for the year, and I made the Islanders my dark horse. I think they kind of showed up and proved what they can do. And if they can continue on the momentum, like, I think they're set to have a good season if they can continue that. But I mean, everything coming out of that weird time off is kind of questionable from any way you look at it. You can debate any team, I feel, but I think they're set up for a quality season if they can keep up their momentum from that.
I agree that they have potential to have a good season this year, but I'm going to disagree. I think in terms of last year, the setup for how many teams made the bubble, like even Megan, the Penguins shouldn't have made the bubble either. They took too many teams there.
Right.
Like a few of them made it to the playoffs that shouldn't have, and they cut ones that were way higher seeds. The same thing happened in the NBA too. There was nothing else they could have done about it just because of the situation they were in, but it made for some like bullshit series. And I know that no one expected the Islanders to be good to begin with because they lost John Tavares, but the fact that they made it that far could have been a fluke. You won't know until we start this season and we see if they suck or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this. So before you say it was a fluke, the Islanders in the last 2 years, Barry Trotz has been there, have been one of the top 3 defenses in the NHL. So knowing that, it's not a fluke. Defense wins championships, and I think that the Islanders set up very, very well defensively. They need to find that second-hand scorer right behind Matthew Barzal. They added Pajot who was very, very good coming from Ottawa. He was one of the standout players for the Islanders in the playoffs. He had 10 goals. He was fantastic. He was one of the best playoff players. But all in all, they needed to add that extra offensive player in the offseason. They couldn't do that. Mike Hoffman decided to go to St. Louis because he wants to win a title, quote unquote. St. Louis didn't really do anything in the playoffs last year. And now you have Sorokin, the top goaltender, one of the best goaltending prospects we've seen in a very, very long time. The Islanders signed him during the season last year, and now the Islanders and they're set up very, very well at goaltender. So I've been very impressed with what the Islanders did, especially making that run in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, Barry Trotz is an established coach. It was a surprise to all of us when he left the Capitals right after they won the Cup to begin with. So if he can keep them rolling after they did lose Tavares and they're slowly building on top of the base that they already had, then I don't think it'll be a fluke. But it's just an interesting perspective comparing their Eastern Conference final run to how they got into the playoffs to begin with. Obviously, we wouldn't know what would have happened if the season didn't stop. Maybe they would have climbed up the rankings. It's the same thing that I was talking about calling Philly a fluke in our last episode, because they were on a huge hot streak last season, and then they made a fair playoff run. I think the Islanders were the ones that knocked them out, actually.
Yep.
And maybe they'll come back red hot again, but they didn't make any significant roster moves in the offseason. So I think it's a similar situation. You're not entirely able to see what's going to happen because it wasn't a normal season that we normally compare it to.
So you mentioned Zdeno Chara earlier, and again, it was very surprising that the Bruins let him go the way they did. He went to Washington. I thought he would have just retired at that point because he's just a Bruin forever, from what it seems like. So
hold on, he was an Islander too.
All right, he was an Islanders draft pick. He actually stepped on the ice for the Islanders.
He was still an Islander.
All right, he was an Islanders draft pick. Fine. So what do you think is the biggest thing? Obviously, we heard your reaction already there. You obviously didn't like it as a Bruins fan. So how much do you think it'll hurt the Bruins, and also in what ways? And also, what boost do you think it'll give to the Capitals, and how significant will those boosts be at somebody at 43 years old like Chara?
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt me as a Bruins fan in the sense that we're losing a skill player. The guy's 43 years old. If he stayed with the Bruins, he was only going to be able to play minimal minutes, or he should have only played minimal minutes. I think that's why he left the Bruins, was because they asked him to play minimal minutes and he didn't want to. That was the main frag in their contract negotiations. I'm assuming that again, I was not in the room. I'm assuming that the Capitals offered him more minutes, or at least
were in the room, by the way.
No, they were not. Yes, they don't exist.
They were hanging on a chair, so he actually was in the room. At least a piece of him was in the room. But go ahead.
And I don't think that he's going to give the Capitals a significant boost besides maybe leadership. But they've got Alex Ovechkin. They don't need that veteran in the locker room that a lot of other teams need, like maybe the Bruins, because they have Bergeron and they have Krejci. But Chara was really that guy that was building out the blue line. So I think that's going to hurt them in some way. I don't think it's going to hurt them in terms of talent because, yeah, he's huge, but he's not moving as fast as he used to. He doesn't have that huge slap shot that everyone's afraid of anymore, things like that. I will say that I saw a headline earlier that he wasn't able to start training camp today because he left his stick in Brighton. And he's so tall that he can't borrow anyone else's stick. So he actually hasn't been able to practice with the Capitals yet.
And I want to give a shout out to Henrik Lundqvist. With everything that's happened to Henrik in the offseason, obviously the Rangers parting ways with him going to Washington, and then finding out that he's going to have open heart surgery. I mean, this is one of the great goaltenders we've seen in the last 20 years, and hopefully a speedy recovery for whatever his heart surgery is all about. I haven't even heard what kind of heart surgery he's going to have, but hopefully Henrik Lundqvist will actually have the opportunity to step on the ice again once he gets through this. So shout out to the Lundqvist family. Go ahead, Speedy. Talk. Speedy, you got like a stick stuck up your ass.
I was waiting for them to respond.
What the heck? I'm talking. I'm just sending a shout out, and you're sitting there like this.
I thought they might have responded. All
well,
right,
well, speak, damn it. Okay. You don't shut up half the time.
All right, so now referencing to Megan's two teams, you mentioned the Penguins, you being a Penguins fan, and also the Vegas Golden Knights. Both those teams have had goaltending rumors. Robin Leonard had a great year, so now they're thinking about trading Fleury. And again, the Penguins, the same kind of thing with Matt Murray when Tristan Jarry played better for them. So what do you think is the best approach for those particular scenarios? Could you see a reuniting of Fleury with the Penguins possibly? What do you think will end up happening? What do you think is the best approach for those teams?
As much as I would love to see Fleury back in that black and gold, I don't see it happening. I don't think he's going to be traded. I think he won't be protected. I think there isn't much of a benefit for them for letting him go right now, just kind of like letting it go naturally, because he has done a lot for Vegas and kind of helped.
You think he's going to a Kraken, okay? That Kraken team.
I'd be so okay with that because it gives me another reason to get a new cool jersey. I went to Vegas. That jersey in my closet is sick. I will wear it always. But like Shannon and I are talking about, I need a reason to get a Seattle jersey. Like if Fleury wants to be that reason, so be it.
Oh,
just buy a jersey just to wear it next time you guys come on the show, just to annoy him because he doesn't like it.
I hate that name.
Seattle.
Really?
Yes,
I love that name. Also, Kraken rum is fantastic.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's terrible. I was at the draft in Vancouver, and when they did the announcement of the Kraken, and some of the new owners, producer, I forget his name, was there introducing the Kraken and stuff like that. And I said, "You're in Seattle. Why couldn't you name the team the Seattle Grunge or something? Because that's where grunge rock is from. Why would you name them the Krakens? I mean,
what would you make that logo?
The grunge? I don't know. Grunge rock. You could put a drum set, something banging on a drum or something. I don't know.
St. Louis Blues.
I mean, did you like the Golden Knights name?
I'm sorry?
Did you like the Golden Knights name?
Yes, I actually love the jersey. I love the color.
Well, the jersey's fine, but the name's dumb.
Yeah, I would say the gold. I mean, what is a Golden Knight? I mean, like seriously.
Well, they got sued because they took the name from West Point.
Yeah, I guess whatever they get their names. I mean, what the hell is a Kraken? I mean, there's no such thing as a Kraken. So I mean, I don't understand some of these names. I'm excited that there's another hockey team coming to the NHL, being that it's Seattle. Seattle deserves another team. They took away the Supersonics. I think they should bring basketball back. Putting a hockey team over there really solidifies the state and where the state is going when it comes to professional sports. But I've been bothered by the name. That's for sure.
I wanted them to pay homage to the Supersonics with their mascot and name the hockey team the Seattle Sasquatch.
Of course you do. I mean, just look at you. I mean, you look like you look like a Sasquatch right now, right next to me, you hairy bastard. Anyways, we are talking to host of the Slapshot Sweethearts Podcast, Megan Rachel and Shannon Walsh. So what were your thoughts when you heard that the New York Rangers were going to get the number one pick in the draft since 1960? What was it? 65?
65, yeah.
Was the last time they got the number one pick. Were you surprised that the Rangers won the lottery draft? And if so, did you think that Gary Bettman was behind all of that?
I was surprised. I didn't really conspiracize behind it. I was kind of just like, I'm over it. Like, this isn't real. I'm gonna ignore it. If I ignore it hard enough, it's not there. Like, I've gone to Ranger games here and there. Great stadium. Great arena. Love MSG. But I will never really give any attention to the Rangers because I don't think they necessarily deserve it.
Oh, okay. All right there.
Yeah, he's a Ranger fan, so that's good. I'm happy. I'm happy that we have another Ranger hater. But I don't hate the Rangers. I just don't like the fans. I don't go to Madison Square Garden anymore because every time I go there, it seems to the story comes out. I was a big-time hockey player. I was a ranked hockey player. I was going to be a professional hockey player before I hurt my knee. I played for Team USA Hockey with Chris Higgins and Kamisarek when I was younger. My career kind of fell short because of my knee injury. I lost my scholarship. It's a long story. And now I'm here standing in front of a mic. When you see some of these players come in and out of the NHL, it really, it's gut-wrenching because you see all this talent over the last couple of years. They come into the NHL. Some of them succeed and some of them fall apart, even these draft picks. when you look at Alexis Lafreniere, everybody keeps talking about him being like the next superstar, the next Sidney Crosby. And it was so funny when Lafreniere was interviewed after he got drafted by the New York Rangers. He said that he's nothing like Sidney Crosby, nor is he anywhere close to the player Sidney Crosby is, which I give him a lot of credit because a lot of people just think that they're the best in the world. Did you think that Lafreniere was the best player in the draft? Or did you think that there were other players, or especially the center that was drafted at number 2? Did you guys think that he was the best player in the draft?
I think he was the best for the Rangers in the draft, which I think is probably the most important thing. I think the same can probably be said for the NBA draft, where there was so little coverage of it because of COVID-19 that there wasn't enough given. And I think this kind of goes back to your point about players will come in and, thrive, and some will fall apart. I think it's a little unfair to this NHL draft in particular, because the NHL draft to begin with already doesn't get a lot of coverage. And then in the middle of COVID-19, it got like next to no coverage.
Yeah, I had friends when they saw that there was an NHL draft happening, they were like, "Oh, is that the expansion?" And I was like, "No, this is, the new class."
I will say this: the NHL knows how to treat the press when you go to the events. I was in Boston when St. Louis won the Stanley Cup. I was on the ice when they hoisted the Stanley Cup. And I had the opportunity to interview some of the Boston Bruins that were eliminated. I also got a chance to interview Brett Hull and Keith Kachuk and Al McGinnis that were all there that worked for the organization of St. Louis Blues. What I've learned about the NHL is the NHL and Gary Bettman. You say whatever you want about Gary Bettman and his personality and how much you want to boo him every time he steps on the stage. The guy knows how to treat the press. Every single event I've gone to when it came to the NHL, they pampered us. They took care of us. I had a lobster dinner in Boston, and even at the Stanley Cup, the draft in Vancouver, they pampered us. I was very impressed, and I've been very impressed with the NHL. There are certain organizations like the NBA, the NFL, they don't know how to treat the press. They don't know how to treat the people that are center stage to promote their product. So that's one thing I could say about Gary Bettman. He knows how to deliver to the media. That's what I could say. But anyways, that was my spiel there. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the draft or you've been to the Stanley Cup. They definitely do pamper you, and they treat you like you're a superstar over there. You're like an NHL player over there, if you're not. Anyways, I got a chance to sit with Barry Melrose at the Stanley Cup Finals. That was fun. That was an interesting conversation that we had. So I told you that's a conversation that we had, Speedy. Mm-hmm. But anyways, your thoughts this year with the divisions that they created, which to me, I really screwed the New York Rangers, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the New York Islanders. Were you surprised that they put the Rangers and the Islanders in that kind of division with some of the great teams in the NHL, or what team really got very lucky on landing in the division that they did?
I'm not overly surprised about the way the Eastern Division ended up. I think it logically makes sense for all those teams to be bucketed together with what their goal was. It's definitely going to either make teams like rise to the occasion or truly fall, because it's just such competitive play all the time. But I mean, with your other question, kind of who got the benefit of this, I would say the North Division, because when you look at the Stanley Cup winners for the last 20 years, there are 0 coming out of that division. So this could be a chance for someone over there to kind of rise to the occasion and have a bigger chance this year.
Okay.
I'm also going to say the Lightning. They just won the Stanley Cup and they got moved out of the hardest division. Like, how did they escape Boston, Philly, Washington, and move into like the middle ground here with Detroit, Florida, Chicago? Columbus is okay. Dallas made a fair playoff run. Like, how did they get moved to an easier division?
Well, if you had to move Tampa, then you would have had to move Florida and Nashville, because it's all like that logistic area.
But St. Louis got moved to the West.
Yeah, that's weird.
A lot of it is weird.
That one's weird.
I didn't understand anything when it came to maneuvering the divisions. If you're going to keep the divisions, keep the Metropolitan Division, keep all the divisions. What are you playing? 30 less games this year? Does it really matter what division you're in? It doesn't make any sense. That I agree with you guys. I don't like how they decided to put the Lightning wherever they felt like it fit, and Detroit wherever they thought it would fit, and the Islanders and Rangers they screwed. I really believe they screwed the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. We'll see what happens this season. We'll see how good both teams are, but I will say this: the Rangers did not re-up on the defense that everybody said that was their weakness going into the offseason, and the Islanders didn't really re-up on their offense where that was their weakness going into the offseason. So, like you guys said, two teams that are very strong in two aspects of their game, they didn't get any better on both sides of the puck. So, except maybe the Islanders as far as goaltending is concerned, from Varlamov to Sorokin. I mean, if Sorokin is as good as everybody says he is, I mean, this could be a fun year when it comes to defense and goaltending for the New York Islanders. So, before we let you go, I want to have a game with you guys. Speedy, I want you to get me some instrumental, a nice like a game show instrumental music. I don't care what it is. Wheel of Fortune. I don't know. Price is Right. I don't care. All right. I'm going to ask you guys questions. I'm going to each of you 5 questions each. Okay. We're going to ask you hockey questions. I know Shannon loves basketball, so she probably can answer the basketball questions. And I don't know if the great Megan Rachel can or can't. So we're going to stick with hockey. Okay. So I'm going to ask each of you 5 questions, and the winner has to wear in their next episode of the show. The loser has to wear the winner's favorite hockey team jersey. Is that fair?
We don't even own those.
You don't own them? Well, then you're gonna have to.
I'll find a Bruins jersey somewhere if I have.
You don't have to wear a Bruins jersey. You have to do something with the Bruins. Okay. If you win, Shannon, you have to wear something with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay.
All right.
Is that a deal?
You should buy my reverse retro jersey.
I'm just trying to help.
It's ironic because our next podcast guest is the Nesson host for the Bruins. So if she's got to wear Bruins stuff, that's going to look real good.
Well, that's true. And here's the thing. These questions are not going to be easy. They could be from the past. So, and the first person to get 3 questions right wins. Okay. I think Megan, are you there? Or did we lose you?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Are you ready? Okay. Megan, first question for you. Sidney Crosby. That's too easy. I was going to ask you an easy question for you, Pittsburgh. I want to ask you one question from your team first, and then move on. Okay. I'm Speedy. You know any Pittsburgh questions? Quick.
Where are we going? We're going trivia questions.
Trivia questions. Yes. No. I want to ask him what kind of underwear Sidney Crosby wears under his shorts. I don't know. Ask her a Pittsburgh Penguins question.
All right. So Tom Barrasso, obviously best goalie in the Penguins have had, with Fleury obviously as well, is one of the few goalies that have scored a goal in an NHL game. Can you name 2 of the other ones?
That's a good one.
We're going to be here all night.
No. I'll save you the time. No.
2 goalies that you know have scored goals in the NHL.
Oh, not on the Penguins?
Not on the Penguins. 2 goals.
Oh.
Yes.
God, I don't even know that. I have no brain. What?
I'll tell you one. He played for the New Jersey Devils.
That's not the one I was thinking of, so.
I'm going to say my parents would be so disappointed.
Hall of Fame goaltender.
I have no names in my head right now. At all.
Another one played for the Philadelphia Flyers. He was a crazy one in the net in the 80s and mid-90s.
Oh my gosh, I have no clue.
One still played.
Oh, alive then.
All right, that's one question wrong for Megan. Okay.
No.
All right, for the Boston Bruins, how many goals? How many times did Phil Esposito score 30 goals as a Boston Bruin?
30? What?
30 goals as a Boston Bruin. How many times did he do it?
9.
You sure?
Yes.
Speedy?
Phil Esposito.
Phil Esposito. Because
Brodeur!
What happened?
Do I answer my question now?
Brodeur?
Yeah.
Martin
Pecorino,
Brodeur
too.
is one of them, and there was one from Ron Hextall. You remember Ron Hextall?
Nope.
You never heard of Ron Hextall?
I'm so young.
Well, you are young. We got to get easier questions here. Speedy, what do we got here? 9?
Let's see. So 9 is the guess. It is. No, it looks like it's more.
Oh.
Nope. It is 13.
Oh, okay, I wasn't that far off.
Right. So that's one question wrong for you. We'll ask you your questions that happen in these days. Speedy?
All right. So both of you are from DC, so you have a reference for the Capitals.
Good Lord.
So I'm going to ask you some Capitals questions. So Alex Ovechkin is obviously the number 1 leading scorer. Obviously, he's got he's got an insane amount of goals. Who is second on that list? Who is second and third or fourth? One of them is a current player still in, and the other 2 are past players. 2, 3, and 4.
Megan, you go first.
Is Backstrom one of them?
Yes, Backstrom is one of them.
Okay.
243 goals. He's fourth.
Just for the Capitals, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Of retired Capitals players? I
Yep.
don't know any of those.
You do remember one of them. He was a big-time superstar, Hall of Famer.
Okay.
His first name begins with a P.
A P?
What is it?
No, what did you say? What did it start with?
Starts with a P.
Yeah.
And ends with a B. His last name is a B.
I feel like I'm playing crossword now. What is it? I'm going to be mad when you say it.
Peter Bondra.
Oh.
All right. So it's 1-0, Megan. Okay. Who was the first player in NHL history to score 100 points in a single season when he scored 126 total points? Megan, you first.
I have no idea.
You just mentioned him.
Who did? I did?
We just mentioned him in one of the questions.
Is it Ovechkin?
No.
No, that's too. Oh, he's a current player, though. You said.
No, he's not a current player. He's a retired player.
What was it? Peter Bondra?
Nope. Phil Esposito.
That was my other guess.
All right, Speedy. Question for Megan. I'll get a question for Shannon.
Oh, I have
Yes,
one for
just
Shannon.
go.
I had one for Shannon.
All right, ask for
the
Shannon.
Flyers.
Ask,
All
okay?
right. So, who led the? It's the Flyers. You said this was your boyfriend's team. Who was the leading points guy on the 2009-10 Flyers team and the leading goals guy?
Shit, what's his name? I don't know. Voracek's too young, but that's
Give her a hint, Speedy.
Okay, so the leading goal guy later played for
goal guy.
Yes. Later played for a team that won the Stanley Cup this
Scorer,
past decade.
you mean?
Yes, the leading goal scorer. He at 25 years old led the team this year, and then he played for a team that won the Stanley Cup this past decade.
So then the decade. Can we work together? The decade is
Wayne
Pens, Caps, Blues, Lightning. Oh, it's 5
I
years.
would have reacted if it was Wayne Simmons, so it's not him.
It's not Wayne Simmons.
We'll let you guess again. Carl says Dino Cicerelli.
Nope.
We gotta brush up on our stats here.
On our old
throwback
stats. I know current
I'm not even that
stats.
old. This.
I'm saying our throwback stats.
All right, so Megan, this is a question for you. Whose number 66 was retired by the Penguins?
She has this jersey.
Mario Lemieux.
That's right.
That was a dumb question.
I have his Heroes of Hockey jersey.
Okay, I met Mario Lemieux.
Oh, dreams.
Yes. All right, Speedy, give Shannon an easy question. It's 2-0 right now. Megan.
Bullshit.
Go ahead, Speedy.
All right.
She's a Bruin fan.
Yep,
So.
and that's what we're researching right now.
Why do you need to research? You could ask her a question right now. Who led the Bruins this past year in goal scoring as a defenseman?
Oh, as a defenseman. So it's either McAvoy or Krug. Well, Krug's not a Bruin anymore.
But you can. He was a defenseman, so with the Bruins. So who was it? Krug or McAvoy?
I'm gonna go with Krug.
Krug is right. Krug was.
All right, I got another Bruins one. This is a good one. Which current player on the active roster he's still there right now, is also the all-time leader in shorthanded goals in franchise history?
Marchand.
Yep, very good.
Well, she only gets one because we gave her one. So she can't get 2 points. It's not fair to Megan. Okay, so it's 2-1.
You gifted Megan with a very easy one.
It's yes.
She has that jersey. That was basically cheating.
Doesn't matter. I made a good pick when I bought the jersey.
All right. I'm gonna think of a good question.
I'm trying to find one for Vegas. That's a good one.
A good Vegas question?
Yeah.
Why a good Vegas question? She's a Pittsburgh Penguin fan.
And she's a bandwagon Vegas fan for
She
Fleur.
defines bandwagon in terms of Vegas fan.
I'll follow Fleury anywhere. It's fine.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to find a question that you will know, but is a harder question. I'm trying to think of one.
All right. Let's see. Do you remember the name of the player who scored the Golden Knights' first goal in their franchise history?
No.
Pretty old. Does he even play in the NHL anymore?
Yep. He still was with Vegas this year. He was a healthy scratch a lot of the time this year.
I can picture him, but I can't remember his name.
And I watched the game too. Why isn't this in my head? I have no idea. Who is it?
Go ahead, Speedy. Who is it? Spit it out.
Both of you give up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It is Tomasz Nosek.
They're not going to know that. What kind of...
I'm picturing his face.
Remember
He's
it.
like every other,
Okay, here's a good question for both of you, and each of you will get to answer the question. Megan, you first. There was a group that played for the Philadelphia Flyers in the late 90s and the early 2000s. They called themselves the Legion of Doom. Who were the three guys a part of the Legion of Doom?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Was Mark Ricci one of them?
No, but close. Mike Ricci.
What did I say?
Mark
Ricci. Yeah.
Same thing. That's around the right time, right?
I no, there's no time. Do you know Shannon?
No.
Eric Lindros, remember him?
Yep.
John LeClaire, remember him?
Yep.
And
They're
Michael
all sounding familiar.
and Michael Renberg. Those were the three. Speedy?
All right. So we're gonna stick with Vegas again. So William Karlsson, obviously a big name. Both of you know that. So he scored 43 goals his first year with Vegas after having a single-digit goal total pretty much every other year of his career. So whoever gets, I guess, closest will get it. How many goals did he score the year before?
6.
You got it. You got it right away.
Who said that, Shannon?
Yeah.
So it's 2-2. Now the next question will be the winner. You ready? Okay, Megan, you're first. Speedy, give me a good question. One question for both of them to answer that happened this past season. Okay, this past season, but it's a tricky question.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
It could be the All-Star game. It could be anything that happened, trivia, in the NHL this past year that passed.
All right. So, Jonas Korpisalo, the save record. How many was it exactly that he had? And how? And again, we'll do closer. How many saves did he break the next person's record by? That was.
Oh, how many did he break the record by?
Yeah, what was the difference in the record that he broke? How many did he break it by in terms of the number of saves and also the exact total? So whoever gets it closest again.
Was it 3 different?
No, it was the one game. How many did he get it in the one game? The crazy 5 overtime game against Tampa.
Why do I leave everything up to you? You make it so difficult. You really do.
He had it was
a lot.
I want to say it was. I can't decide whether it's in the 70s or the 80s. I'm going with 83.
All right, Megan.
I'm going in the 70s. Let's go with 76.
Okay. Shannon gets that one, and she is closer. 85.
Oh.
So now, the next part of it was how many saves did he beat the previous record by?
That was... 15.
All right, Megan.
No, I'm going more. 23.
No, it was actually less. It was only 12. Next highest was 73. It was Kelly Hrudey. Is that how you pronounce it with the Islanders?
Kelly Hrudey.
Hrudey. Okay. With the Islanders, had 73 saves on 75 shots. Korpisalo had 85 on 88 shots.
Kelly Hrudey. Oh my God.
In a loss, no less.
Kelly Hrudey.
Overtime. That's not hockey anymore at that point.
Yeah, well, you guys are too young for that. But I would have asked you simple questions, but Speedy made it hard. But you guys are both winners. We really appreciate you joining.
That was a poor performance.
You know what? We'll get you guys on again, and we'll actually get some good questions. It was really off the head. Right. I just wanted to see what your hockey knowledge was. But you guys are still you guys still have good hockey knowledge. Don't get it twisted. I will ask you one question. Who do you guys think is the greatest goaltender to ever play the game of hockey?
Whoa.
Turn the music right off as you ask that.
Okay, there's a lot of bias in here.
What do you guys think is the greatest goaltender to ever play in the NHL?
Well, I mean, you said Martin Brodeur earlier. He's obviously a Hall of Famer. He's a fantastic goalie. But I think Patrick Waugh is really good too. I think he can't be overlooked. He was an awful coach in Colorado, but he's a fantastic goalie. And I think that it can translate to coaching at some point if he harnesses his goalie knowledge correctly.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Megan? Who do you got?
I'm just so biased. My favorite player in the entire world is a goalie.
Who is it?
Fleury. But I know
not the best hockey goalie.
Definitely not.
I can't speak poorly on people.
Carl says Eddie Belfour. Carl says, one of our fans says Eddie Belfour. Eddie Belfour was a great goaltender. I wouldn't say he's the greatest.
Well, he's a little biased too. Blackhawks over there.
I know, but he was a great goaltender. Eddie Belfour was a great goalie for 9 years. Yeah. One of the great goaltenders in the NHL. Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but I'd give a lot of credit to Brodeur.
I would say Brodeur. The greatest all-around goaltender I've ever seen, probably the greatest goalie to ever play the game is Martin Brodeur. I mean, if you look at numbers don't lie. I mean, he's He's got the most shutouts. He's had the most saves. He's had the most wins. I mean, who's better than Martin Brodeur? And he won 3 Stanley Cups. You can't take that away from him. So from a New Jersey Devil team that honestly wasn't the most talented, that's for sure. So girls, I really appreciate you guys joining us. I definitely want to get you on when the hockey season starts. I'm definitely going to be a fan of your show. I'm going to definitely watch your show. I'm a big hockey fan. I was a hockey player. If you guys ever need anybody to come on your show when it comes to hockey, we have a lot of good hockey guys, hockey girls that we know that would love to come on your show and argue hockey with you guys. But we really appreciate it. Why don't you tell the fans how they can find your podcast, how they can listen to your show?
Yeah, you can go on social. We're both waiting for each other. On Twitter, we're Sweethearts Pod. On Instagram, we are Slapshot Sweethearts. I know my personal account is Miss Meg Rach. Find us that's on all my socials. So we love hearing from everyone. So definitely find us on social there and get in the convo.
How about Speedy? Would you like to hear from Speedy? I mean, he's looking to meet some nice, beautiful women to find him some nice, beautiful girls. I mean, look at him. He definitely needs to shave a little bit and maybe wear a hat or two.
We did talk about beard cleanliness on our last episode. So if you want to listen to that, Speedy, feel free.
But he's going to be a big fan. He's a big hockey fan, big Ranger fan. I know you guys don't like the Rangers, but he's a big Ranger fan. And hopefully the Rangers just lose again this year.
No.
That'd be ideal for everyone.
Well, that's true.
No,
I'm an Islander fan, so it's not saying much, that's for sure. But all in all, I'm looking forward to the hockey season. I'm looking forward to seeing what the NHL is going to provide. Some of these teams, some of the acquisitions that they made, and my dark horse this year going into the playoffs is the Edmonton Oilers. So remember, I said that. I think the Edmonton Oilers could be a very big surprise team. Calgary was the surprise team getting into the playoffs last year. Really didn't make a run like everybody thought, a.k.a. Speedy Petey over here.
No, you picked them too. Stop.
You're the one who loved them.
You picked them against Dallas too.
You would have sent them your dirty tidy whiteys.
No, first of all, I picked Colorado to go to the Cup, not Calgary.
Oh, well, you liked Calgary, did you?
I did. Yes, and you also picked them to beat Dallas too.
Yes,
so
I did.
You're also wrong.
I was wrong about Dallas. Yes, I was very wrong about Dallas. They were fantastic. They're not going to make another run, but the team that I definitely am interested to watch this year is the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, this is his 4th season as an NHL player. I want to see this kid. I really want to see this kid explode. He is the face of the NHL moving forward, and I want to see this talented Edmonton Oilers team where he wasn't even the best player on the Edmonton Oilers last year. So I want to see what Edmonton can do with a 56 game season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
56 game season with the NHL and see what Gary Bettman's going to do with this whole bubble thing. I hope that we don't have to deal with this thing again. Hopefully we see fans more sooner than later, but we really appreciate you ladies. We definitely want to get you on in the regular season when hockey starts. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of banter and a lot of arguments to your show. And feel free if you ever want to call somebody a name, make fun of them, or send pictures of dirty tidy whities, you send it to this guy right now.
God. Enough with the tidy whities.
This guy with his SpongeBob tidy whities. I'm telling you right now, he has SpongeBob tidy whities. He's a big. Are you not a SpongeBob fan?
I've seen the show.
Are you a SpongeBob fan?
I wouldn't say a fan.
Don't lie now.
I would not say a fan. I've seen the show.
So you're telling
There's no shame in being a SpongeBob fan.
Well,
I didn't say there was.
Well, for him, there is. Okay. So there's a lot of shame in
Don't listen to him.
He has a lot of stains over there next to SpongeBob.
Don't listen to him.
Sorry, ladies. It's just part of the show. Anyways, Shannon, Megan, thank you for joining us. I see Megan, Rachel. I hate it. You guys, you got to give yourself like a nickname. Both of you got to get a nickname. You know,
that's what I go by Meg Rage. Like that's just.
I like that. Meg Rage. I like that. I like that. Rage. I like that. And Shannon, we need to give you like Walsh is just. It's too easy. It rolls off the tongue. It rolls off the tongue. You know what? Double hockey. Shannon double hockey sticks or something. We got to give her something. HEL double hockey sticks or something like that. We need to give you a name. Speedy, give me a name. Give me a good hockey
Shannon.
name. Yeah.
This is not really my area of expertise. You come up with all the nicknames for the guests that we have on all the time.
Now you know how we felt.
Shannon Needle Nose Walsh. How's that? How's that sound?
It's trending.
Needle Nose Walsh, and then Megan Rachel Rage. No, I don't like. No, we gotta figure something else over here. Megan.
Just think of something with the Kraken, Megan, just to annoy him.
I'll be sure once I get my jersey to come hang out again.
That's true. That's true. What? Come on, guys. Some of the fans.
By the way, Megan, just a side note, we actually had a Vegas Golden Knights goalie prospect, Dylan Ferguson, and he actually had his jersey hanging up on the wall in the background when we had him on.
I thought about that. I was like, I have like this blank wall. Maybe I need to like fill it up with something else. Hang up my jerseys.
Well,
starting with the Kraken one.
We gotta. Well, she's the one with the Kraken name, so we'll call her Megan the Kraken Rachel. How's that sound? What's your last name, Megan?
Woods.
What is it?
Woods.
Megan the Kraken Woods. And
what's the difference between Walsh and Woods rolling off the tongue?
I like Needle Nose. I think that's a good name.
I don't.
Needle Nose. I like that name. It's very intriguing. Very. Oh, hold on. Carl says Shannon the Slapshot Walsh. Okay, that's what Carl says. And you have anything for Megan, Carl? You have anything for her before we let her go? So Megan can have a name.
I thought we were going with Kraken. What happened to that?
No, she doesn't like.
Megan's name doesn't cut it. We gotta start fresh. We got it fresh from birth.
If she's the Slapshot, we'll call Megan off the post Rachel. How's that sound?
I was thinking, what about Flurry Wood? Because you like Marc-Andre Fleury.
No, you're giving her a name that she wants. We have to give her a name that she is going to inherit.
I was asking her.
We got to, and she's got to inherit it. I mean, Shannon the Slapshot Walsh and Megan off the post Woods. Off the post Woods. How's that sound? That's a good Slapshot off the post. That's good.
It's better than Needle Nose Walsh.
Well, I still like Needle Nose, but that's just
I'm making it, boys.
Anyway, apparently Needle Nose is a better name than Kraken.
Well, that's true too. Needle Nose is better than Kraken, that's for sure. I would call Seattle Needle Noses. The Seattle Needle Noses. What do you guys?
And what would that logo look like?
A needle in a nose?
Could be like a narwhal.
Then they'll really think they're doing drugs or something. Oh man. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. We're looking forward to getting you on the show very, very soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us. We really appreciate it.
The Slapshot Sweethearts. As you know, Shannon Slapshot Walsh and Megan, what do we say? Off the Post Woods. Okay. Two very, very good broadcasters, podcasters for Belly Up Sports. Great girls. Very, very nice personalities. Very excited to see what they're doing, what they do with their show in the near future. And we're going to get them on in the near future.
With a Kraken jersey.
I don't know about that. We're not going to go
something Kraken related, at least.
I don't know.
Just for you.
I don't know. Wicked Whistler Woods. That's pretty good.
That's good. That's actually good.
Wicked Whistler Woods. That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I like that.
I like it a lot. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, the great and powerful world of Disney. Yes. We call that Weapons Hot. So I'm definitely looking forward to this interesting show of the arguments that CJ, Kevin, and good old Jim and his bag of fun with Weapons Hot. That's for sure. Thank you to Shannon and Megan, and thank you to Marko for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday for Below the Mic. Until then, this is Errol Marks and Speedy Petey saying good night, and we'll talk to you then. Good night, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.